Let's begin. It's about 2 o'clock. So good afternoon. I believe most people here are doctors, right? So good afternoon, fellow medical colleagues and the organizers, and also whoever else, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. Right, thank you for coming to this launch of the clinical practice guideline on the management of gambling disorders. I'm Thomas Lee. Um, Together today with me, there'll be two other speakers. Dr. Tan Hui Sim, who's just sitting right in front, and Dr. Guo Song, I think he's on the way. So three of us are part of this work group which came up with this guideline. Some of you have it on your hands. You can also get it online, right? And Hui Sim, Guo Song, we were once colleagues at the National Addictions Management Service at the Institute of Mental Health. Right, that's where this is the Tertiary Addiction Treatment Center in Singapore. Right, until recently, Hui Sim and I just came out into private practice. So the bulk of our work, what we do is we treat people with mental illnesses, as well as various kind of addictions, drug addictions, alcohol, gambling addiction. So we do have a wealth of experience in terms of assessment and treatment of gambling disorders. So we hope that through this guideline, we can pass on some knowledge to you so that in your practice, you'll be able to use this guideline to help you screen, right? For some of you, even assess and treat patients, okay? So this afternoon, we will be giving you a sense of the gambling situation in Singapore, just a bit of information. We'll help you to understand what is gambling disorder. We'll run through some of the clinical practice guidelines with regards to the screening, assessment, and the treatment. So a pretty short and straightforward one. It's not very scary. Okay, it's okay, don't worry. Okay. So without much further ado, let us begin. Before we even go right into it, I just have been very curious all this while, how many doctors actually gamble? So among the people in this audience, well, don't be shy. I've just a rough idea, just to kill my own curiosity. How many doctors right here have gambled at least once in your lifetime? At least once. Can be 4D, can be anything. Okay, quite a lot, quite a lot. I actually expect more. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a very good friend, a psychiatrist also. All right, at IMH. Some of you may know him, but shan't release his name. Very good friend. He plays mahjong every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, without fail, to 4, 5 a.m. Sometimes he doesn't sleep. Some days he plays big bets. Some days small bets. So it depends. Superstitious. Sometimes you can't tap on his shoulder, right? You can't say certain things because that's not very good for gambling. Good luck. So is he a problem gambler? Right. So based on my own assessment, quietly assessing him, he's not a problem gambler, but just a social gambler. So I sincerely hope all those who have raised their hands are just social gamblers, because to develop into problem gambler and a pathologic gambler, it's really like a part of an alcohol and drug addiction. All right, it destroys the person's life, the families, a whole host of other things. Okay, so I begin with a video. So I don't know whether there's sound, but doesn't matter. Uh, and just sit there and look at the video. It doesn't work. That's biscuits. That's a fish. That's bird dropping. so the guy with the shirt won because he got the bet dropping. Okay, so this will seem ridiculous to most people, right? But to gamblers, right, this is nothing. They can gamble on anything, right? Gamblers can find something to gamble. I know of two gamblers who simply gamble on which two flies on the wall flew off first. Just like that, simple as that. Right? So gamblers can gamble on flies, politics, which Mr. Tan will win the presidency, anything in the world. There will always be something in the world to gamble. And there are a lot of online websites for people to place bets, right? All the time, any time of the day. Okay, so just a sense of a gambling situation in Singapore and the world. The global legalized gambling revenue is expected to hit 144 billion US dollars this year, right? And just in the Asia Pacific region where we are now, gambling revenue is expected to go up to 30 billion US dollars this year too. So becoming the world's second largest casino market, right? So in Macau, very close to us, the revenue hit almost 24 billion last year. In Vegas was only almost just $6 billion. The whole strip just 6 billion. So Macau actually became the world's biggest gambling market in '06, and definitely going to be more this year, 5 times more than Vegas, right? So just appreciate the numbers in terms of billions. Right, how about our own country, Singapore? All right, we have the two new casinos recently, right? Marina Bay Sands, Resort World Sentosa, and let's not forget the hundreds of outlets out there, 40 outlets, lottery outlets with long queues, right? And many other kind of gambling activities. So in Singapore, 5.1 billion US dollars in gambling revenue last year. And this year is expected to hit 6.4 billion, so overtaking Las Vegas. That will mean that we are going to be the second largest market in the world, right, after Macau. That's how big it is. Right, Marina Bay Sands generated 94 million US dollars in just slightly over 2 months since the opening, after the open. Resort World raked in about 775 million Singapore dollars in the last quarter of 2010. Right, so that's a lot of money. Majority will be gambling revenue. Okay. Right. What about the prevalence rate in Vegas? The so-called Sin City. 1 in 4 residents gambled daily. This is based on a study done 10 years ago. And in the whole United States, a lifetime prevalence rate, 95%, almost 95%, have gambled at least once in a lifetime. And among these people who are surveyed, problem gambler accounted for almost 4%, pathologic gambler about 1.6%. Okay, so that's roughly the number. How about us? Are you aware of any local study recently? Okay, so for those who don't know, this is one. There were 2 studies done in the past few years. One in '05 and one was '08. There's one going to be conducted or currently going on at the moment, so we should have new data. But this is the most recent one, '08. Surveying adult population more than 18 years old, those who have gambled at least once in the last 12 months. All right, just the adults, not the kids. So they found that there were more than half, 54% of those surveyed who had gambled at least once in the last 1 year. And among those surveyed, 1.7% were probable problem gambler, another 1.2% were probable pathological gambler, right? Later, Quisim will help you understand what is a problem gambling and pathological gambling, right? But both are not good gambling. They'll cause problems in the person's life. So you put 1.7 plus 1.2%, that's almost 3%, right? Our population is about 4.8 million, right? So you take away the younger generation, the kids, the teens, just the adult, perhaps maybe about 3.8 million adult. So 3% of 3.8 million people is about 100,000 problem gamblers out there living among us in the community. That's a lot of people. And this 100 people, I believe, will have problems in their life because of the gambling